guys, so I'm going to do a quick video, hopefully quick, just to kind of go over some of the questions that you guys have asked in the group, or that I've heard people kind of have concerns about or questions about, and wanted to touch on those a little bit. One that seems to be kind of a big one that I know I've shared a little bit before, but snacks and traveling. And I'll be honest, I don't travel much, so for me traveling is a little different than it is for other people, because my situation is usually a little different when we travel. It's usually just for family visits or mini family vacations, and it's easier to kind of pack things to take with in a cooler, or stop by the grocery store and pick up stuff. So that's kind of usually what I do to be kind of on task with my meal plan when I'm on vacation. But just some simple things that you can kind of do when you're going to be traveling or away from home for an extended period of time. Take things with you that you can, that you don't need to refrigerate. Some great options are making your own trail mix with nuts and some dried fruit that's just fruit, not added sugar. You can also do low sodium jerky. There are some great options. I know some of you are not big on to beef, but there are some turkey and chicken jerky out there that are great also. Also, if you like seafood, tuna is a great source of protein, and you can get pouches of it that don't have sodium, and they're packed in water, and that could be an easy protein source that you can take with you. Some other protein options also obviously would be yogurt, which if you can pick up some stuff at like a convenience store, supermarket, you're at the airport, sometimes you can grab something there that's somewhat healthy. Just look for sugar content, sodium content, those sorts of things. But yogurt is a great one, not the parfaits. Let's see, cheese has protein, but it's also good fat. That's a great option because it will keep you fuller. Watch out for crackers and that sort of thing. Again, sodium and just extra ingredients. But rice cakes is something that I found that I really like, which you can take those with you. Let's see, there are some protein bars that I have found. I'm still not a big fan of them, but if in a pinch, sometimes you just need something. And I found these at Target actually. They're called Oat Mega, I think, and they have omega-3s, and they're made with organic whey protein, and they have organic oats, I think, in it, and some other things. But based on my knowledge, looking at the ingredients, they're not too bad, and they are a good source of protein. They get a little bit of carb in them, but not too much. Sugar is minimal, so that is an option for a protein source when you're looking for something to take with you. Kind bars are a great option. I would watch those too. Some of them do actually have added sugar, and you just want to make sure you get the low sugar ones. So when we travel, again, a lot of times I'll take that kind of stuff, and if I can take a cooler, if it's a short trip, I'll pack hard-boiled eggs, carrots and celery, hummus. You can buy almond butter packets that wouldn't necessarily be refrigerated. That's a great option to have with like an apple or celery, or your rice cake. Let's see what else. I always hit up the grocery store when we go out of town and stock up, because usually you're going to have a refrigerator where you are, and I try to make sure that I have stuff on hand that is going to be easy and convenient, and to keep me on track. Obviously, there's going to be circumstances where you need to go out, so then I just really focus on making sure you're getting a good protein. Fish, chicken, steak is fine if it's like a lean cut of beef, and just I always, usually when I'm traveling, because you don't eat well anyway, I usually omit whatever the carb is that comes with it and ask for extra veggies. So that's a great way to get your veggie and your protein at your dinner time. If you decide to do a salad, I just caution you about salad dressings and extra toppings that you might not need, that might be adding extra calories and sugar to your salad. So salads, just be leery of what's in it, but if it's got a good source of protein and you can omit things that maybe you don't really need, then you can make a salad a really good option as well. Soups and that sort of stuff I usually tend to stay away from, but I'm not a big soup person anyway. And drinking, obviously if you're having cocktails, again, just I would try to be limiting on that, but make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure that you're omitting a carb each day that you're doing that, just so that you're balancing out that. And speaking of water, I always recommend drinking lots of water. I'm kind of an advocate for water, and I use this 20-ounce water bottle. I fill it 6 times a day. That's my goal every single day. Some people, in order to kind of keep track, can put little rubber bands around here. You can have 6 of them on there, and then each time you filled it up, you move it down or move it up, or however you want to track it. I understand some people are not water people. Maybe you need to find a way to make some infused water, flavored water of your own. You can use mint, cucumber, different kinds of fruit. There's just so many different options you can look up on Pinterest or on the internet and find some great options for that. I would also be leery of the vitamin waters and those other flavored waters that appear to be kind of healthy, but a lot of times there's hidden stuff in there, extra sugar or artificial sweetener, citric acid, which I've been informed is really bad for your teeth enamel. So just be kind of diligent about reading labels and trying to stay away from stuff that seems super convenient that might be too good to be too good to be true. So that is kind of my tip on that. And then also I had somebody ask me about the carb cycling, which I'll kind of go over briefly, and I can go into more detail on another video. But carb cycling, there's lots of different ways to do it, and I personally am not an expert on it, so this is just based off of what I've done and I've heard and seen. The 21 Day Fix Extreme does have a carb cycling option in the calendar. It's a 3-week carb cycling calendar, and basically I believe it's one day you eat kind of like you normally do for the 21 Day Fix without ever allowing for cheats. The whole 3 weeks that you do it, you don't have a treat on the weekend, you don't substitute a carb for that. It's meant to be a super clean 3-week clean eating program. And then actually you start with 2 days of carb depletion. So that would mean you basically, depending on which food category or calorie category you're in, you're probably going to have 1 or 2 carbs and no fruit. Fruit is omitted on those days that you do that carb cycling where you're omitting carbs. You're also omitting your good fat, and you're adding extra protein and extra veggies. And you're still getting your teaspoons, but you're not getting quite as many. And so then on the one day that you do eat your carbs, and your blue container, you're getting a little bit extra teaspoon, and you're allowed your fruit and your carbs. So you do that 2 days on, 1 day off for 3 weeks. And then at the end of the 3 weeks, then you would ease back into kind of a clean week of just the strict 21 Day Fix eating plan. And that's just the format. I've had to tweak it because I found that I struggle really hard with carb depletion, and so sometimes I still add an extra carb or fruit, depending on if my workout for that day. If you're doing something that's really intense and you really need the carb for recovery, you don't want to get to the point where you're feeling lightheaded or uncomfortable, or you just want to make sure that you're listening to your body. So it's not an exact science. Everybody kind of handles that differently, but that's kind of a basis for the carb cycling format that the 21 Day Fix Extreme does. But there's lots of different ways to do it. People do it a different way. When you're competing, obviously it's much more extreme, and I think they go 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks without fruit, and it's just like lean fish and veggies for those last 4 weeks. And so it's a really, really intense program, but it's effective. But then when you go back to your normal eating, then you tend to put back on your body weight, just because it's just the way that your body works. So I hope that answered the questions that kind of came up. I'm happy to do another video on some other questions, but I know the snacks are a big one in traveling. Again, I just can't have a lot of insight on that just because I don't do a lot of it, but I hope that some of those suggestions were helpful. And let me know if you have any other questions, or if I need to clarify anything that I shared, or if I missed something that one of you guys had asked me to cover. I'd be happy to go over that as well.